Hello everyone, you are watching a snippet of Countdown June 5, 2023. Today is Monday. See the full version of the program on the Patreon resource. And since now, the beginning of the month, it's time to become patrons of our channel. The main array of videos will be on Patreon only. And thanks to everyone who is subscribing right now. And I'm moving on to the main thing. There were reports about the beginning of the counteroffensive of the armed forces of Ukraine. Biden's advisor, Jake Sullivan, expressed confidence that Ukraine would succeed and return the strategically important territory. In the Zaporizhia direction, the armed forces of Ukraine advanced to a depth of up to 3 kilometers, and the Russians at that time began to spread disinformation about the losses and failures of the armed forces of Ukraine. And the reality is that while Min Shuiga reports on the unsuccessful counteroffensive of the Ukrainian army, the Rashists themselves begin to fight with each other. The head of the PMC, Wagner Prigozhin, published a report that the military personnel of the Ministry of Defense prevented the exit of his militants. And he even presented a video in which Lieutenant Colonel of the Armed Forces of the Russian Federation Roman Benevitin, taken prisoner by the Wagnerites, confirms that he shot at the ghouls out of a sense of hostility. That is, the Rashist war game becomes chaotic. The Russians are already taking Russians prisoner. A little more, and Mother Anarchy will cover all levels of the collector, from the lower trenches to the Kremlin fence. The Kremlin is already pretending that nothing is happening. No serious showdowns among the fighters, no capture of a part of the Belgorod region, no arrivals along Rublyovka. The Kremlin stuck its head in the sand, lightly exposing the sirloins. No one wants to react to anything and, moreover, to answer for something. The system fell into a stupor and suspended animation at the same time. Adros Konstantin Zachelin makes harsh statements, the essence of which boils down to stating, if not the coming defeat, then the freezing of hostilities with fixing Ukraine as South Korea, and the caves as Northern. In response to these speeches, the debate is discussing the possibility of depriving Zachelin of the post of first deputy chairman of the State Duma committee and expelling him from his Duma faction. That is, it is not included in the discussion on the merits of the problem, but overwrites the speaker, drowning out the topic itself. By the way, the completely bewildered leader does the same, who, instead of making adequate assessments of what is happening, rants that Santa Claus is more important than Putin. All this is similar to the terminal stage of an oncological disease, when the patient falls into inadequacy and begins to watch saving cartoons while the body is preparing to depart for another world. Watch the full story on Patreon. Become our patrons right now and look further in this program. Kadyrov said that he could send his militants to the Belgorod region to fight the saboteurs. Prigozhin can also send his mercenaries there. In Russia, the time is coming for the leaders of private armies, who managed to acquire their own gangs. He secured a chance for survival in the future. On June 4th, progressive navalnists all over the world celebrated the birthday of their lord. Alexei Navalny turned 47 years old. In Russia, 1,500 adherents came out to the action. Abroad, too, everything went dull and without a twinkle. Navalny's star is fading. With the change from the non-resistance paradigm to the frankly murderous one, Navalny's figure becomes more and more hamster-like. And on the cave rocks today, completely different heroized prisoners are jumping. The Prime Minister of Belgium instructed the special services to clarify the issue of using the weapons transferred to Ukraine in an attack on the territory of the Belgorod region, noting that the weapons transferred to Ukraine can be used exclusively for defense purposes. The St. Petersburg Economic Forum, which was once positioned as an alternative to Davos, is turning into a meeting place for outcasts. For the first time in its history, the forum will not host the world's largest media outlets, and the fascist Aleksandr Dugin and special pranksters Lexus and Vovan will broadcast about the future of Russia. And that is all. See the full version of the program on the Patreon resource. And thanks to everyone who is becoming our patrons right now. Hugs to everyone. See you on Thursday. Glory to Ukraine.